If your intent is to start something new, use initiative conversations. If your intent is to inform, engage, and learn, use understanding conversations. But if your intent is to have people take action, to actually do or accomplish something, then use performance conversations. Performance conversations are the only conversations that are specifically designed to have people commit to taking action or producing results in time. The tools of performance conversations are requests and promises. A request includes all forms of asking people to commit to doing something. Orders, commands, invitations are all forms of requests. When someone accepts a request, we say that they have made a promise. They have agreed to do whatever was contained in the request, or to produce whatever was asked to be produced. Sometimes people make promises, make agreements to take an action or produce a result without being asked. For example, I may tell my son I will send him a new book about golf this week without him ever having asked me to do so. With or without a request, we say that anytime you tell someone you will do something, you have made a promise and created an agreement with them. An agreement for which they could hold you accountable if they chose to do so. Performance conversations are not conversations about performance in the past. They are conversations for performance to be taken in the future. Performance reviews, for example, are conversations about past performance and are not performance conversations because they do not include requests and promises. If such promises and requests are made for future performance, then we have a performance conversation. The basic form of a request is, I request you A by due date B so that C, where A is what specific action I want taken or what result I want produced. B is the due date by when I want it to be accomplished, and C is a brief reason for why I think its accomplishment is important or why I want it done. Telling people the reason for the request, the why, provides them with a context for the importance or value of the request and allows them to prioritize their work. When someone accepts a request, they are promising, agreeing, that they will do A by time B for the reason C. The specifics of the what need to be spelled out. Also, the more specific the due date and time, the better. When you say Friday by 5 p.m. or noon on September 10th, there is no room for assumptions or guessing about expectations. An example of a complete request is shown here. Ray, I have a meeting with the dean tomorrow at 3, and she will want to know how many graduate students we have in the master's program. Will you prepare a summary report for me that details our enrollments over the past 5 years and get it to me by noon tomorrow so that I have time to incorporate it into my report? In this request, the what is the preparation and delivery of a summary report on the number of graduate students in the MBA program. The when for this delivery is noon tomorrow, and the why is to be prepared for a meeting with the dean. Here is an example of an incomplete request. Can you see what is missing? Pete, hey Jamie, I've got a pretty busy day today trying to wrap up my fills. So is there any way that you can pull the information Andrea asked me for in that email? Jamie, yeah, no problem, man. Let me know if you need me to pull any other info because my week is looking like it's going to be pretty slow. Pete, sounds great. Thanks, Jamie. Jamie, yep. So what's missing? First, the what that is wanted. The information Andrea asked for in that email may be unclear. Which email that Andrea sent? Which information in that email? The only way this part is clear is if Jamie already knows which email and whether the email contains only one type of information. If there's any confusion about that, Jamie could be doing the wrong thing. The when is not specified either, so there is no certainty as to when Jamie is to deliver the information to Pete. Both of them may have different ideas as to when it will be completed. Finally, a why is provided because Pete is busy, but being busy is not a very strong or compelling why. As a result of this request, both Pete and Jamie could end up disappointed. Pete, because he probably has an expectation of what he wants and when, but doesn't state them clearly. Jamie could be disappointed too, because he will do what he thinks Pete wants, but might be wrong in both the information he provides and when he provides it. Let's look at a second request. Stan, Charlie, I need those panels glued back onto the teller line immediately. This is getting ridiculous. It's been a week. Now I get an email telling me that the request has been completed. Clearly it hasn't. Charlie, sorry about the miscommunication. I don't know what happened. I'll have someone out as soon as I can. Stan, that's fine. The waiting is frustrating enough without them backing out my request. Please just get it fixed. What Stan wants in this request is reasonably clear. He wants the panels glued back onto the teller line. When he wants it done, however, is not clear. And Charlie does not give him a specific time by when he will get it done. Neither party is in full and complete agreement as to when this job will be completed. As a result, Stan is likely to be disappointed again. Why Stan wants it done is also not clear, even though we can see that he is impatient because it hasn't been done in over a week. Stan says he needs them done, but doesn't say why. Both of these requests are typical of the ones we find in organizations, which is why some things do not get done completely or on time. Incomplete or vague requests create problems for the person who makes the request. Both of these requests are typical of the ones we find in organizations, which is why some things do not get done completely or on time. Incomplete or vague requests create problems for the person who makes the request, as well as the person who is trying to fulfill it. Even highly committed people who are motivated to do a good job can have difficulty satisfying incomplete and unclear requests. Clearly, we make requests with the intent that people accept them, but accepting a request is only one of three possible responses. A second response to a request is to decline it, and there are two ways in which this can be done. The preferred way is being upfront about it, declining by saying that they will not do what they are being asked to do. Declining a request honestly will give the person making a request an opportunity to make other arrangements for getting what they need done. Another way to decline a request is more covert, saying yes, you'll do it, but then not doing it. We call that saying yes, but doing no. One place you may see this is with your own to-do list. If you're like most people with to-do lists, there are probably items on it that have been there for a long time. And in some cases, if you tell the truth about some of these items, you know that they're never going to get done. This is saying yes, but doing no. And regardless of the reason for not getting them done or not doing them, the impact is still the same. The agreement is not being fulfilled. Here's an example of a declined request. Kevin, Alicia, will you do me a favor and send me an updated assortment sheet for D36 and 28 today so that I can work on my strategy sheet? Alicia, sorry, Kevin, I'm in meetings with the VP all afternoon and will not be able to get that for you. You might check with Pat. In this example, Alicia gives Kevin a specific reason for declining his request, rather than saying something like, sorry, I'm too busy. The third way to respond to a request is to counteroffer. When we counteroffer, we are saying, I am unable to do what you want when you want it, but I can do this instead. In a counteroffer, you change the what and or the when so that you can say what you will do and by when. Hey Lacey, can you give me all the size breaks that I'm going to have to break out this week by tomorrow end of day? Lacey, I may not be able to have them all to you by tomorrow, but I can have them by Wednesday. Adam, that works for me. I'm just trying to get them as soon as possible. Lacey, okay, I will get them to you by Wednesday at the latest. This is a counteroffer in which the when is changed from tomorrow to Wednesday. Note, however, that the when does not include a specific time on Wednesday. Adam will actually get the size breaks, leaving room for unmet expectations and possible upsets. This is a cartoon that illustrates another issue related to performance conversations. Boy, There's sure a lot to do around this place. Huh. It would be nice to have some help. Yeah. Just look at that lawn. It sure needs mowing. Hmm. Amazing how quickly grass grows around here. Yeah. Wouldn't take much effort to pull out the lawnmower and go around a few times. Uh-huh. Sure would be nice to have it done. Michael, you've been sitting on your butt for the last 2 hours. Why didn't you mow the ruddy lawn? Gee, Dad, I don't know. I would have if you'd asked me to. In this cartoon, the father is hinting to his son Michael to cut the grass and then gets upset with his son when it is not done, even though he never specifically asked for the grass to be cut. Hinting is an ineffective request because it does not make clear that you are actually asking for something to be done. Hinting is a major issue in many close relationships, where the assumption is made that the other person should know without being asked or told what I want done. Your expectations are your thoughts about what should happen, but unless they are spoken to someone else, we cannot have confidence that we have a good promise and an agreement. We cannot hold people accountable for what we expect but have not asked them to do or deliver. Incomplete and unclear performance conversations contribute to many of the barriers to success at work. For example, if we make requests that specify a time when we want the result, then we will know if it is on time or if it is late. Adding clear time information reduces lateness. Incomplete or missing performance conversations also contribute to other barriers to success, such as workload overwhelm. One reason people have more work to do than they have time in which to do it is because they accept requests that they could decline or at least counteroffer. Sometimes they will say yes and then do no. A lack of resources may also be the result of failing to make requests or making requests that are incomplete. Using performance conversations can make any workplace more successful and productive for managers and employees alike. In summary, performance conversations commit people to taking action through the making of requests that clearly state what we want, by when we want it, and why having it done matters. Complete performance conversations give us a solid foundation for performance by removing the ambiguity that arises when we hint at what we want or fail to communicate expectations.